Hello and welcome to the Chil and Aveer documentary. Today we'll be looking at the man after God's own heart. We'll be looking at the two first kings of Israel and be contrasting them in different ways. Let us begin. The first lesson that the life of David teaches us is being egotistic and not having a humble heart can lead you in the wrong direction. In the Bible, it teaches us that as the previous king of Israel, Saul was anointed by God as king, for Saul was chosen based on his looks. They ran and brought him out, and as they stood among the people, he was a head taller than any of the others. Samuel said to all the people, "Do you see the man the Lord has chosen? There is no one like him among the people." Samuel was referring to his looks when he said, "There is no one among the people like him." This section was focusing heavily on his looks. It also stated that he was a head taller than any of the others. Although God had found a new perspective in a king, someone who was a man after God's heart, despite how big they were, how tall they were, or how their appearance was, someone who was down to earth as well as humble. God had found trust in David to be the next king of Israel, as his characteristics and personality matched his criteria for a good king of Israel. David was a man of respect, reverence, and obedience. He always gave his utmost respect to God. One instance when this quality was present was a time where David purposely gave up the opportunity to kill Saul, who was his pursuer. In 1 Samuel chapter 24, Samuel and David were in a dark cave with David's men. David's respect for God prevents him from seizing the moment to kill Saul, who was pursuing him. David goes as far as to stop his own men from killing Saul. This story shows David's unwavering respect and obedience towards God. Another lesson that the life of David can teach us is to always be true to your heart and to never ever give the responsibilities of your wrongdoings to others. In this part of the Bible, Saul was someone who was filled with great jealousy and a heart of stone. Saul is jealous of David's success as so much that he would try to kill him. When Saul found out that their throne was being taken from his family and being given to David, he became furious with David instead of considering his own iniquity and sin and trying to make his relationship with God right. Saul was a man who had his priorities out of whack. He did not yearn for the approval of God, but of people. David, who wanted the approval of God, was given just that and the approval of the people. The Bible also teaches us about bravery and to always believe in yourself, and most importantly, believe in God to help you. In David's life, David was someone who was brave and always had a thought in the back of his mind that God was always with him and for him. He displays this when he fights both the lion and the bear, but also when he stands up for his people when Goliath and the Philistines are mocking the Israelites. Even though Goliath was twice or more the size of David, he still stood up to him and defended him with a slingshot. This was because he had confidence and a good belief in God. Although Saul was a head taller than everyone else in the Israelite army, he would not stand in front of the big armored brute, which was Goliath. David, on the other hand, did not waver for a second. This shows that David was a much braver man than Saul and had more trust in God.
Last but not least, to conclude this talk, the life of David most importantly teaches us to be obedient to God and to listen and obey his orders he may give you. In these few sections of the Bible, David was way more obedient to God than Saul was. He followed God's commands. Also, he was obedient to his people when he had to fight off Goliath so that the Philistines would stop mocking the Israelites. Although, in this case, he was obedient to his heart because he was doing what he knew was right, so he followed through with it. In conclusion, There are many, many different lessons that we can learn about David's walk with God. To sum it up, these are to forgive and own up to your own mistakes when you sin, be brave, have faith in God, and to always be obedient to the right things, especially with God. Okay guys, to finally end this video, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to learn about the next big figure in the Bible.